Dear students of class 10A and 10B, here are my points mentioned in the board. Please look at it. UNESCO. Objectives, headquarters, functions, scientific activities. What is UNESCO? What is the full form of UNESCO? You know, United Nations International Children's Scientific and Cultural Organization. What is the full form of UNESCO? United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. It is the full form of UNESCO. United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. This special agency of the United Nations was established on 4th November 1946. But before its establishment, a conference was held at London in the year 1945 in the month of November for the establishment of such an organization which would help the needy people, which would bring prosperity, development in the field of education, science and culture. That's why in the year 1945, in the month of November, a conference was held in England, and during this conference, the program and a resolution was adopted for the establishment of an educational, scientific and cultural organization, which led to the establishment of the UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, on 4th November 1946. Now, what are the objectives of the UNESCO and where are its headquarters? The main objective of UNESCO is to contribute to peace and solidarity, security in the world by promoting collaboration among nations through education, science and culture and communication. This is undertaken to further respect for justice, for the rule of law and for the human rights for all human beings. The human rights of the people of the world are harmed, their sentiments are harmed, their human rights are are affected. They cannot exercise, they cannot enjoy their human rights properly. That's why sometimes, in order to protect the human rights of the human beings, which some human beings sometimes face, in order to avoid this type of inconveniences of the people, this organization, through its program of education, science, culture and communication, has undertaken to further respect for justice, for the rule of law and for human rights for all human beings. Now, where are its headquarters? The headquarters of the UNESCO are in Paris. Its headquarters is situated in Paris. Now, what are the functions of the UNESCO? The functions of the UNESCO. The main functions of the UNESCO is in the field of education. Now I am going to explain it in better form. Now, education, the larger sector of the UNESCO's activities in the field of education. How? By removing illiteracy from the grassroots level of the society, by encouraging the people to receive education, especially adult people. That's why it introduced adult-centric education for the adult people who are very much shameful for their drawbacks, not receive education during their young age, but now intends to receive education only for them. It encourages the adult people to receive education and introduced adult-centric education, distance education, and the open school system. It emphasizes on education of women and girls. It also financial assistance. It encourages financial support for the education, for the growth of education and disabled children. And it has provided certain facilities, grants and fellowships to teachers and scholars, organization of library systems, and promotion of international understanding through education. A number of organizations and book fairs also are, encouraged. Through book fairs, festivals at international level and national levels. Special agencies of the UN always enhances its cordial relationship with them, and as a result of it, development of library system has been occurring. An important component of continuing education is going on. Delhi Public Library System. Library also was established in the year 1951 with financial assistance from this special agency Unesco, and has developed into a big metropolitan public library system at present. Besides, another important functions of the UNESCO is to encourage science among the children, science education, by providing regional training experts, regional training centers, promotion of education as an instrument for international understanding according to UNESCO. Now, these are the functions of the UNESCO. And now, scientific activities of the UNESCO. What are the scientific activities of the UNESCO? Scientific activities of UNESCO. UNESCO has many programs in support of the tasks, duties and responsibilities of the members to provide education for the adult people, and to set up schools, to set up adult-centric centers for providing them education, and for removing illiteracy from the society. Besides, it provides grants and fellowships to the teachers and scholars also. It promotes education and as an instrument for international understanding, because UNESCO considers this matter that establishing international understanding throughout the world is very important to them, since it is a special agency of the United Nations. That's why its first and foremost duty is to establish cordial understanding, international understanding throughout the world. But without spreading education, without the knowledge of political system, without the concept of education, it cannot be possible. That's why it has taken so many programs so as to make the people educated, and those who are uneducated, it has set up a number of educational centers for providing them adult-centric education, so that they must receive education from different adult centers, where only adult people will be present in order to be learned by their teachers. That's why the role of UNESCO is very important, to make the people educated and and make them conscious, alert regarding their duties and responsibilities. Now, some scientific activities of the UNESCO. Some scientific activities. Thus, UNESCO organizes seminars and conferences. It organizes seminars and conferences of scientists of various countries of the world, and circulates information through journals, press, and exhibition. Courier is the official monthly magazine of the UNESCO. Its Hindi and Tamil edition are available in India. What is this? Courier. Courier is the official monthly magazine of the UNESCO, and its publication Hindi, both in Hindi and Tamil, are available throughout India. Now it promotes another scientific activity of the UNESCO is to promote basic research in fields like geology, mathematics, physics, and oceanography. These are the most important research works of the UNESCO. It promotes the basic concept to the research workers in mathematics. Those who are the research workers for mathematics, geology, physics, and oceanography, it provides necessary information for them. As a result, it finances engineering and technology schemes in a number of developing countries. Another thing is that it helps in correcting the imbalance in scientific and technological manpower that exists, because 90% of trained manpower is concentrated in the industrialized countries. Nowadays, most of the people are very much interested, especially those who have received training from different training centers. They are fond of getting services of fat salary. That's why 90% at this moment, 90% of trained manpower is concentrated in the industrialized countries. The countries which are industrialized, a number of factories and industries are there, and many opportunities of jobs for them. 90% apprenticeship and trainers, after having received proper training, after having received proper education of science and technology, they always try to be an employee of such countries who are scientifically developed, who are financially developed, where many factories and industries are established. Only for them, they are attracted. These educated trainee people, apprentices, are being attracted by these countries of the world. It encourages the study of social sciences. The study of social sciences in order to focus attention on the combating of all forms of discrimination, improving the status of women, and helping the youth in solving their problems. Sometimes women get trouble. Sometimes youth generation is unable to solve the problem they face. For this youth generation, this agency, this specialized agency, UNESCO, comes forward and encourages them to be a part of social science, to be a part of study centers, so that they must gain knowledge of all forms, and must become self-sufficient. For that reason, this specialized agency focuses its attention on combating all forms of discrimination and improving the status of women and helping the youth in solving their problems. And as a result of it, the world has become free of all kinds of problems because of this organization, and because of the low-cost community-based services in material and in parts of their emergency needs, and of course the financial support, of course its moral support. For the youth generation, women are getting enormous facilities and they are becoming self-sufficient. Up to this, my dear students, thank you.